Each year, there's a couple dates on the calendar that all of us at the 49ers look forward to. One is when we get to bring our players to Santa Clara Juvenile Hall to spend some quality time with the kids inside. They tell stories, of course they play a little football, and most importantly, they inspire each other. The next is Fly's annual Showcase Breakfast. You get to hear the stories of kids who have gone through the Fly program. Going through the Fly program transformed their lives, and they are on stage in front of a room full of people sharing how Fly made a positive impact in their lives. By the end of the event, everybody's on their feet, cheering, singing along with the Fly alums on stage, and you just leave feeling so inspired to go and do more good in the world. Of course, 2020 has thrown us all a couple of audibles, but we at the 49ers and 49ers Foundation are committed to Fly. We're committed to the lasting impact that you are making in our community and the lives of young people.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to give a big thanks for showing and giving us support, and welcome to Fly Showcase.
Thank you for supporting Fly. Welcome to the Showcase.
Hi, welcome to Showcase.
I'm Miguel from Stay Fly. Thank you for coming out to the Showcase.
Good morning, welcome to Showcase.
Good morning, everyone, and it's good to have y'all here, and welcome to the Showcase.
Welcome to Showcase.
From all of us at NetScout, welcome to Fly's 2020 Showcase. Thank you for joining us as we reimagine justice together. As a proud Fly sponsor, we know you will be as inspired as we are by the Fly youth and the work that Fly is doing for our community.
This is Jacob from Stay Fly, and thank you for coming out to the Showcase.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Showcase.
My name is Raymond, and I'd like to thank you for supporting the Fly program. Welcome to the Showcase.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out here supporting Fly today. It's a great day to have you guys out here. Welcome to the Showcase.
Thanks for supporting Fly and welcome to Showcase.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Showcase.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tylon. I want to thank everyone for coming out today and for supporting Fly. And without further ado, welcome to the Showcase.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming and supporting Fly. Welcome to the Showcase. Enjoy your time.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. Welcome to Fly. I want to thank you for supporting Fly, and it's great to have you here today, and I hope you enjoy your experience.
Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Wilson Sonsini, Goodrich, and Rosati, welcome to this year's Fly Showcase. Thank you for joining us as we reimagine justice together. Please enjoy the program.
Welcome to Fly's 2020 Annual Showcase Breakfast. My name is Amy Nguyen, and I'm a Fly alumni from 2013.
Hello, good morning. My name is Brandon Lee Aguilera Cisneros. I wish we could all be enjoying breakfast together in person. 2020, it's been a year none of us will ever forget for a variety of reasons. It's been a year of panic, worry, vulnerability, tough conversations, and turmoil, but it has also been a year of great awakenings, a year of growth and progress. It has set the tone for the future and helped each of us realize there is so much more to be done. So much more that each of us can do for our communities, our neighbors, and our youth in the area of social justice.
At Fly, we reimagine justice by putting our words into actions. When I was 7 years old, my family could no longer afford to live in a house when my parents lost their jobs. We were forced to live in a family friend's garage. My sister, mom, dad, and I shared one mattress in our new home. Soon after, my mom found a new job at a local dry cleaners, while my dad found comfort in drinking. His drunken nights led to daily fights with my mom, and these fights would end with my mom, sister, and I spending the night at my mom's work on top of other people's dirty laundry. Angry that this was my life, I took my frustrations out on the world. At the age of 16, I was arrested for home invasion and placed on probation. Unfortunately, being arrested did not wake me up like it was supposed to. I continued to ditch school, do drugs, and throw away the life that I never wanted. My probation officer noticed my behavior, and instead of turning away and giving up on me, she highly encouraged, kind of forced me into Fly's mentor program, where I was paired with my mentor, Crystal. Crystal taught me how to be resilient, and gave me an outlet for my pain and trauma. Most importantly, Crystal gave me the guidance, care, and affection that I lacked from my own family. In 2014, I was able to graduate from high school, get off of probation, and stay out of trouble. In 2017, after earning my associate's degree in psychology at Evergreen Valley College, I transferred to the University of California, Merced, where I earned my bachelor's degree in psychology with a minor in anthropology. I graduated in the top 2% of my class and was nominated by the Department of Psychology as the Outstanding Graduating Psychology Student. Currently, I'm finishing up my master's in psychology at San Jose State, where I hold a 4.0 GPA, and I was awarded the Exceptional Educational Resilience Award. This fall, I began the process of applying to doctoral programs to earn my PhD and will be the first FLY alum to accomplish this.
My biggest struggle before coming in contact with FLY was I didn't have a sense of belonging or know what I wanted with my life. I was given the opportunity to become a part of FLY's family back in 2018. And at first I was super weirded out by all these people who were just magically on my side in my corner, pushing me to accomplish the goals I set for myself, such as getting back into school and getting my driver's license. With FLY's help, I have come to the realization that if I'm ever in a sticky situation, I would want someone like myself helping me out. I could slow down and take a break, but I'm never allowed to stop furthering my education and self-growth. But how do we start? How do we take these feelings, the urge to do more, the social posts or conversations, and turn them into actions that will make a lasting impact?
I keep coming back to FLY because I want to impact the lives of youth, and I want to impact the system to help another person and give them the opportunity that I had. Today, I stand before you as a person who was previously arrested and who had the odds stacked against me to tell you that it begins with the help from one person. We are more than our mistakes. We have the power to change the narrative about troubled youth, and we have the power to reinvent what justice looks like. Join us today in reimagining justice together. 2020's showcase is special for many reasons. We are virtual for the first time, people are joining FLY from all over the world today, and it's FLY's 20th anniversary. This is also the first showcase that we will hear from Ollie Knight in his new role as FLY's CEO and president. Many of you have gotten to know Ollie over the past 6 years during his time as FLY's COO. But Ollie has been a crusader for justice long before he's joined FLY. For 20 years, Ollie has worked at the intersection of race and justice to elevate the voices of individuals, make our systems better, and build up our communities. Today, he joins us with a message of hope and a vision for justice. Please join me in welcoming FLY's CEO and President, Ollie Knight.
Thank you so much, Amy, for that warm introduction. It's a true honor and privilege to offer remarks as FLY's President and CEO. As someone who's watched our founder, Krista, inspire thousands of FLY supporters and youth over the years, I truly appreciate this opportunity to continue the work she started. Firstly, I want to thank our generous supporters, the 49ers Foundation, Fenwick & West, Wilson Sonsini, Goodrich & Rosati, SurveyMonkey, Serrano Group, Cato's Graphics, NetScout, and CEFQ. Without your support, this wouldn't even be possible. This showcase is special because it's part of FLY's 20th anniversary celebration. We at FLY are honored to have been a part of positive change in the lives of 30,000 young people over the past 20 years. 2020 has been like nothing we've ever experienced or expected. A pandemic, an economic downturn, a new movement for racial justice, and wildfires ravaging our state. This hit us all hard, but none harder than our young people and their families. In response, FLY pivoted. We reset priorities, and we created new pathways to impact. Back when Bay Area counties passed the first shelter-in-place order in the country, our young people turned to us. And we were there, not just to help, but to listen. so we could understand how to truly be of service in that moment. Then we became something different. We used our phones, laptops, and tablets to provide critical services and get access to essential supplies. We wore masks and other PPE to provide in-person support when needed. Then we reached out to our partners in the schools and at probation, and were among the first nonprofits in the spring to offer our programs virtually. We worked with our foundation partners to help 150 families get access to financial assistance, and dozens of young people get access to technology to help with distance learning. By the end of June, FLY had served more than 2,000 young people in 42 Bay Area cities. And with our support, with your support, they did some amazing things. Here's some examples. 80% improved social-emotional learning skills and made academic progress, including 43 high schoolers who graduated in the middle of a pandemic. 90% improved justice-related outcomes, such as completing probation or avoiding a new charge. And 100% of our middle schoolers in case management re-engaged in school or transitioned to high school. These are outcomes that are critical next steps FLY youth are taking to exit the pipeline of prison. Our direct service work was supported by our focus on systems change. Our statewide and local advocacy helped usher in reform to reduce incarceration and improve community options. We helped get a bill passed that would close state juvenile facilities and bring young people closer to home and closer to their families. We supported an Oakland ballot initiative that will fund a new career hub for 18 to 21-year-olds. And as local school boards wrestled with choices about investing in school safety, FLY's youth were at the table to ensure campuses focused on student support over discipline. In short, together, we were resilient. We had to be. It's what our youth needed from us. It's what they prove is possible every day, even before the world changed around us. The power of youth voice, their ability to transform resiliency into agency, is what inspires us to pursue justice on their behalf. But I could talk about this all day. How about we hear from them? Take a look at this short film.
The power of youth voice right now means to be resilient and strong, and to never back down against injustice, and to use our numbers to spark change.
The power of the youth voice has so much unmeasurable strength because youth in their prime are one of the most creative thinkers. You know, not to say that anybody else is less creative, but you know, we have potential to lead the new generation into what could be great or what could not.
The power of youth voice right now means giving our youth the chance to advocate for themselves and using their voices in their strong curriculums to problem solve and create solutions that would be better for the future.
The power of youth voice right now means a lot of things. It means to help each other. It means to understand each other and to open up what we want, especially when we don't have nobody to count on.
I believe that youth voice is important because no matter what your background is, no matter where you come from or how old you are, if you have an opinion, it should be heard. During this pandemic, a lot of crazy things have been going on, and on social media, us youth have connected and had organized youth-led protests and things like that. So we're starting to wake up and realize that there's things in the community that we need to change and that we need to advocate for. So I believe that youth voice is very powerful and very strong, and we have the power to change the world.
At any moment, the power of youth voice is life-changing, given a safe space, professional development, and love. Any person will begin to share their story of systematic/life struggle or victory. My power lies in my story, written and voiced. And with it, I'm the first in my family to have a college degree. Even though I struggled in high school, almost falling victim to the school to prison pipeline, the importance of youth voice to me is change. Even during this pandemic, I feel youth look towards change. I feel their power when given is changing themselves, their families, and their communities. Finally, the power of youth voice is its greatest when everyone is involved.
Youth voice means a lot because if someone really sat there and talked to me, maybe I wouldn't have negatively turned to a different road, and I would have stayed in school. Like, yeah, I'm going through something like that was bad. All the bad choices that I made back then made me who I am today, but could have been prevented, and I could have had a better outlook than what I definitely had.
Youth voices are important because decisions and policies that are being made today are directly going to affect us in the future. I also respect the knowledge and skills that youth have that I think will create a better future.
Right now, the power of a youth voice means voicing our opinion on policies that will affect us, standing up for what we believe in, protesting the injustices that our people have endured, and paving the way for future generations.
Wow, powerful. As I said, when our young people talk, we listen. And now you see why. To keep this kind of resilience, we need your support. We need your help. One way you can help is by texting FLY to the number on your screen to support with your donation. That's FLY to 408-351-2932. I recently had a conversation with a mentor of mine. He was an early inspiration to my leadership style today. So I was telling him what we were doing at FLY about our Imagine 2030, our bold vision for justice. At the end, I said, I'm excited about where we're going. I'm convinced that we're changing in the right ways. But sometimes I wonder if the folks on this journey with us are equally enthused about these changes and about what they mean for FLY. He said to me, what you described to me is not change, it's evolution. When an organization is evolving in ways that reaffirms the mission, that's the best kind of evolution you could ever hope to steward. FLY is reaffirming its mission. We cannot be an organization about service for some. We must be committed to justice for all. As FLY's president and CEO, I pledge to steward that evolution in ways that stays true to who we are, while staying true to who I am. This means being bolder and braver in pursuit of justice. This means centering equity in our work. This means elevating and amplifying youth voice to effect meaningful change for our communities. It means reimagining justice together, and it starts with our strategic plan, Imagine 2030. Our goal to help 30,000 more California youth exit the pipeline of prison and move on to pathways to prosperity has not been compromised by the current crisis. In fact, it is more relevant than it has ever been. Imagine 2030 is our commitment to young people and to reimagining justice together. The road to the next 30,000 lives changed starts with doing more than just surviving this year. We must come out stronger and better equipped to face the post-2020 reality. Your support to our annual fund will ensure that we're able to do that. But we know that we need to do more in this moment. The impact of COVID-19 has devastated our youth and their families, and their recovery will be longer and harder than it is for most. And a racial justice reckoning is unlike anything we've seen in our lifetime. We have a moral obligation to be a part of the solution. So we're launching a new initiative, the Justice Prevails Fund, a $1 million fund that will help us go above and beyond in pursuit of economic, racial, and community justice. In the coming months, we will be sharing more about this new initiative. But right now, I have two asks. One, please generously give to our annual fund today to help us continue to become out stronger and better. Two, if you're interested in learning about the Justice Prevails Fund, please let us know. The team and I would love to meet with you to share more about our strategy. Imagine 2030 is FLY's evolution. It is our commitment to move from service to some to justice for all. We're calling on you to join us in this transformative work. And now it's my honor to introduce two powerful young voices, Luca and Areli.
I stand here today, a 22-year-old man, stronger than I ever thought possible. But I wasn't always this strong, just like I wasn't always a man. I was born August 17th, 1998, a beautiful baby girl named Yasmin Elizabeth Fazl. I'm the youngest of two. My dad was from Karachi, Pakistan, and my mom's from Stockton, California. We moved from San Jose to Santa Cruz when I was in preschool. My dad's dream was to own a liquor store, and he had purchased the Piggy Market in Delhi. Things were great. My mom was able to be a stay-at-home mom, and my sister and I attended good schools. It honestly seemed like my dad had accomplished the American dream. Until one day, he was playing a basketball game and was pushed and fell onto his C3, rendering him a quadriplegic. I didn't see my dad for 6 weeks after this accident, and when I was finally able to, he had a halo supporting his head so it wouldn't crush his throat, and he could move his lips, but no sound would come out. I was still in preschool at the time, so all I remember is my dad left the house one evening and didn't come home for 6 months. We moved back to San Jose so my mom could be closer to her job. My mom had put my sister and me into a private Catholic school when I was in kindergarten. Being Muslims, we became prime targets for bullies. My mom tried her best to keep our lives as normal as possible, even though she had just gotten a cancer cell removed, and with my dad being in a wheelchair, I never spoke up about what was going on at school because they had enough on their plates. So I channeled all my energy into school and basketball. And for a while, I excelled at both. From kindergarten to 7th grade, it seemed like my family was able to settle into our lives. But at the same time, there was still a lot of tension in the house. While the treatment I was getting at home mirrored the treatment I was getting at school, I slowly started to give up. The constant ridicule, anger, and abuse that was put towards me, I thought was normal. I didn't know any different. And in 7th grade, my parents decided to split up, around the time my mom had a brain tumor removed. I started self-medicating that same year. It started as once a week, but it quickly picked up and became a habit. I barely graduated 8th grade. I went to a public high school in San Jose. It was there I started to seek out other forms of self-medication. I just wanted to escape. My junior year, I watched my dad pass away. And there was nothing I could do. My dad wasn't always the nicest man, especially right after his accident. But as he grew to accept his physical state, our relationship grew. I would bike every day to my dad's place to make him dinner. Every Friday we'd attend mosque. I would talk to him about everything. And in a few seconds, everything was gone. I didn't only have to watch my dad pass away. I had to watch my best friend. I chose not to feel anymore. So I started partying more than I'm happy to say. It was a miracle, but I managed to pass high school. And it wasn't until I got out of high school I decided to do something for myself. I had spent my life focusing all my time and energy on taking care of my dad. I finally had the time and energy to focus on me. It was around this time I had realized that there's no bigger gift I can give myself than becoming myself. So I started my transition process. And a few years later, I went under the knife for my double mastectomy. Waking up after that surgery was the first time I was able to breathe. I've been suffocating for years in the body of someone I didn't identify with. I spent most of the 3 months healing alone. My stepdad was starting at a new company and my mom was working on growing her career. But that's not to say my mom didn't help me. She would sponge bathe me and help me get into bed at night. It wasn't until after my surgery I really started to try in sports and school again. I joined the swim team at the community college I attended and was getting better grades. Nothing was going to push me off track this time. Then I got myself arrested. My life was officially over. I had surrendered. I didn't want to do it anymore. I was taken to the San Jose police station and transferred to Elmwood Correctional. I woke up on the woman's side. No, that's not a mistake. I had a full beard and short hair, and it wasn't a surprise to me to get the reactions I got. At first, damn, that's the first man I've seen in a while. The second, why'd they put a man in here? And the third, I want to go talk to him and figure out why he's here. Breakfast was passed out. A hard-boiled egg that bounced, a bag of Cheerios, and spoiled milk. Yum. I was lucky enough to have paid my bail, so I was only in there for the night. I was released, but as I walked out of the doors, an unmistakable feeling of identity loss fell over me. I had worked for years to build up the image of a man only to be put right back in my place by the system. The thought of, I'll never be a real man, started to run through my head. I didn't know who I was anymore. I was convinced my life was over. But I had to face the music. I was barely eligible for the Young Adult Deferred Entry of Judgment program, which is a record-clearing program in its early pilot years. I didn't think I was going to get the program, but thankfully I did. I served 31 days in juvenile hall. The counselors there were respectful and some of them helped me talk through some of the issues I was going to face outside of those walls. Around the same time I was going through the court checkups, I was approached by Meredith McGrath, a FLY team member. Choosing to listen to what Meredith had to say may have been a decision that put my life on track. By attending her FLY workshops, I learned a lot about how to handle certain situations involving both the law and more interpersonal parts of my life, while also getting my volunteer hours done. But I also got an unexpected family. Tuesdays became a day I look forward to in the week. It started as a room with 4 complete strangers, and it quickly became a FLY family bond. We'd never judge each other for anything, and I can remember laughing so hard sometimes my stomach would start hurting. FLY is one of the few aspects of my life that didn't give up on me, even when I was messing up. Instead, when I was messing up, Meredith found out why and stood up for me and advocated for me in court. So I know FLY won't give up on anyone. And to have that sense of security and sense of support is what allowed me to believe I could do something more with my life. Where do you go from here? How do I use the life I've lived to make it more than just a story? Well, a year ago when I attended Showcase, I sat in the crowd and listened to the stories of others. I turned to Meredith and told her I wanted to be up there. Well, here I am today. Now I can stand here and say I beat the odds. Now I've been given the opportunity to give back. Now, not only have I joined FLY Speech Committee, I'm a credible messenger mentor for FLY, and I'm finishing up an AmeriCorps Impact Justice internship as a California Justice Leader. And those are the first of many steps I will take to give back. I chose not to let the situations of my life define me, but instead I chose to stand in my power of who I am. And by standing in my own power, I hope to help others stand in theirs. So everyone who I come in contact with knows they have an ally in their corner, no matter what. Thank you.
I'm Areli Ceja, a 19-year-old woman of color who comes from an immigrant mother. I was born in Michoacan, Mexico. I'm in my second year of college getting my sociology degree. I'm working as a full-time cake decorator at Safeway, and with the help of my sister, I've been able to purchase land for my mom to build her home in Mexico, although it has been a long road to get to where I am. At the age of 1, my mom brought me and my sister to the U.S. with her boyfriend at the time, leaving everything and everyone she knew to start life in San Jose. That man raised me for 10 years. At the age of 6, that ex-boyfriend beat my mom half to death in front of us because he thought that she was out cheating when she was out working to provide for him. He beat her so bad that her face was swollen the next day. She filed a police report, and all he got was anger management classes. At the age of 13, my biological dad died in Mexico, who I never got to meet. He wasn't really a part of my life, but it still hurt to know I lost the opportunity to get a chance to have that relationship. And there's more to say that may be hard to hear, but I feel it's really important to be told, because it is real. At the age of 14, my sister came out and told us that my mom's ex-boyfriend repeatedly raped her in order to keep me safe so he wouldn't touch me. He was my father figure. I refused to believe my sister. My mother put out a restraining order on him for the abuse, not knowing about the rape yet. He would go to my school and take me out of my classes, not because he loved me as much as I thought, but to make sure I would keep my mouth shut about anything I knew. I didn't realize at the time, but I was being groomed. He's now in jail, serving 9 years. Most people don't realize that this kind of thing goes on a lot more than anyone knows, because nobody wants to talk about it. At the age of 15, I had my first suicide attempt, where I wrote 8 suicide letters that I still hold on to. I was put in a mental institution for 2 weeks, where they medicated me and diagnosed me with depression, adjustment disorder, PTSD, and anxiety. When I was released, my mom brought me a pug to give me something to take care of. She wanted to give me a reason to get out of bed. My pug is the one thing that will love me no matter what I do or say. During my second suicide attempt, all I could think about was my dog and how me leaving wouldn't be something she understood. I remember laying next to her crying, thinking that something would actually miss me because she depended on me for everything. In my freshman year of high school, my depression had taken a turn for the worse. I became hooked on drugs, particularly pills. I can't tell you anything about it because I wouldn't allow myself to feel. I was caught selling on campus and I was expelled from the district. I was going to a community school where I had to take a program, the FLY Law program. The law program taught me my rights, how to exercise my rights, how to protect myself, and I built meaningful relationships with the facilitators. The facilitators would talk about their own past experiences and what goals they were working towards. It showed me that no matter what, I could pull myself back up and become something. Towards the end of the program, I was given a survey and asked if I wanted to join the leadership program. I then decided to join the leadership program because I wanted to go camping. Fly takes you on a 3-day retreat in the wilderness, and during the retreat, they helped me come out of my shell and helped me open up about personal things I hadn't told anyone about. They took us on an obstacle course where I literally took a leap of faith off a huge tree. It made me feel safe, like I could do anything with them. I got a case manager, Stephanie. She helped me set goals for my future and present. Stephanie has played one of the most important roles in my life. She became my go-to person because I knew that she would never judge me. She would repeatedly make me feel like I was good enough, that I mattered. During the program year, she helped me reconnect with my mom. After my second year of leadership, my family got notice that our paperwork for our green cards had been processed, after waiting for 5 years. And we had to go to Mexico in order to move forward. I went thinking it was just a family vacation in Mexico, that everything would be fine. We went for 2 weeks, and on the last day, the Mexican consulate told me that I would get my green card in a few days, but that my mother wouldn't come back for 10 years, and that my sister was denied her green card for a year. I had to return to the U.S. to an empty home, where everywhere I looked, it reminded me of them. After about a month, I started to realize that they really weren't coming back. I stopped going to school, I would forget to eat, and I turned back to drugs. I was about to drop out of high school, but then I spoke to Stephanie. We started to talk about graduation, and she made me realize that my mother didn't work 3 jobs, go through a lifetime of physical pain for me to just throw away my opportunities. She told me that me walking the stage wasn't just about me, but about the sacrifices my mother made. And that's exactly what I needed to hear at that moment. That's when I started independent studies, and I caught up and graduated with my class. I started to work and provide for myself. I also joined speech committee, where I gained the confidence to be a public speaker. Speech committee made me open up my mind to the horrible injustice that is going on in the school-to-prison pipeline. It inspired me to learn more about our social problems and helped me choose my college major. Speech committee has inspired me to want to keep growing as a person, because I'm magical, and I'll keep pushing forward. I hope to get my associate's degree by the end of next year. I want to go see my mother and the home we're building. I honestly don't know what else the future holds for me, but I know for a fact I'll be part of the Fly family, and I know for a fact that I'll continue to be successful. Thank you.
Next, it is with great pleasure that we introduce our guest speaker this year. She's an award-winning journalist and author of The Shadow System, Mass Incarceration and the American Family. She's an inspirational woman who reports on the way culture, politics, history, public health, and economics affects our lives. Her awards include the Logan Nonfiction Residency from the Carey Institute for Global Good, a National Headliner Award, and a National Association of Black Journalists Salute to Excellence Award. She joins us in a fight for justice for all. Please join us in welcoming Sylvia A. Harvey.
Good morning, and thank you for that introduction. It's so great to be here for Fly's annual showcase. My initiation into justice work started decades ago. I grew up in Oakland, California, alongside my 4 older brothers, doing homework, playing red light, green light, Simon Says, normal stuff. But in the span of a year, my life irreversibly changed. For my 6th birthday, I lost my mother to asthma and my father to a life sentence in prison. My childhood was filled with unanswered questions after that. These questions, I believe, led me to journalism, to investigate the way culture, politics, history, public health, public policy, and economics affect our lives. In my book, The Shadow System, I focused on families impacted by incarceration. But I found myself returning to how so many of my subjects, often Black males, are disproportionately and persistently caught in the chokehold of our criminal legal system. Their stories encouraged me to look back to their youth, to see what happened, what was missing, what was needed. And here's a bit of what I know. Black boys as young as 10 are perceived by police as older and less innocent than their white counterparts. They are more likely to face police violence if accused of a crime. Some young people never have to pay for their adolescent infractions? How can we provide a different pathway for the roughly 1 million youth a year who churn through the criminal legal system? What can we do? Some of our most important social institutions also disproportionately negatively impact people of color. I'm talking about our education system, our child welfare system, our healthcare system, systems that all need change. Decades of oppressive conditions, structural and racial inequality, and blatant disregard for Black life have reached a height that will no longer be tolerated. With the pandemic, there's a captive audience to the atrocities the poor and people of color face. George Floyd's murder awakened many from a slumber, and they're learning that being silent, neutral, looking away are all forms of being complicit. Today, if you fail to educate yourself on why Black life is not valued in this country, you are on the wrong side of justice, the wrong side of history. We can't stand idly by and let the instruments of racism persist and hurt our children. We need to acknowledge when the systems aren't working and hold the architects of these systems accountable to do better. Only then can we really heal and move toward a place that lives up to the ideal of justice for all. I believe that is our responsibility as citizens, dedicated to living in a just country. The saying that those closest to the problem are closest to the solution is true. As a journalist, as an author, one of the things I admire most about Fly is that it creates the space for young people to be authors and narrators of their own stories. As an organization, Fly is on a journey, going from service to some to justice for all. And the first step is for us to reimagine justice together. So, will you join us in helping 30,000 young people write their own stories? Tell me that you will. Thank you so much.
And now we're going to hear from one of Fly's outstanding board members. Mira Chari is a partner at the Bridgespan Group, a global nonprofit that advises and collaborates with many of the world's most extraordinary social change leaders. Mira spent 2 years working with Fly's leadership team through the Bridgespan Group, and she was so impressed with Fly's work that she joined the board of directors in 2019. Fly is grateful to have such a strong advocate working with us towards justice. Please welcome Mira Chari.
Hi everyone, my name is Mira Chari and I joined Fly's board last year because I believe so deeply in the work that Fly does and is doing for youth in the Bay Area and across California. Being involved with Fly for the last year has been an honor and a privilege, and I'm excited to ask you to join me and my family, including my husband Eric and our 3 kids, in giving generously to Fly. First, I just wanted to share a few reasons why our family invests in Fly. The first is that, I don't know about all of you, but I'm going to remember many things about 2020. But one thing that stands out to me in particular is the racial reckoning that we're experiencing as a country, as a community, and the fact that there's an increasing awareness that our country needs to honor and see the beauty in Black and brown lives. And Fly does this. Fly stands in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement and lives out this commitment every day through the work that it does with Black and brown youth here in our communities, and through Fly's commitment to interrogating systems of inequity that are oppressing our youth. Number 2 is that Fly youth are amazing. I've had the opportunity to meet with some of these young people, to hear them speak, and I'm so impressed and humbled by their resilience, their optimism, and their ruthless commitment to themselves. And then finally, the impact of Fly is made possible through the incredible people who are the Fly community. From the Fly board, to the senior leadership team, to the program staff, to volunteers, these individuals are passionate, committed, and hardworking. They know Fly youth and they do what it takes to ensure that these youth have access to the supports and opportunities they truly deserve. This year, there are multiple ways to make it easy for everyone to be part of the solution. So join me in donating to Fly today. Your phone is hopefully somewhere nearby you. You can text the number that you see on your screen right now or visit flyprogram.org/donate. And so many of you at this breakfast around the Bay Area and the world believe in the power of Fly. While I wish we could all be in person, until then, let's hear from some other supporters in this video.
Founded in 2000, Fresh Lifelines for Youth is an award-winning nonprofit serving youth impacted by the juvenile justice system.
We educate our young people about the law and their rights, give them positive mentors and role models, and support them to become leaders in their communities and to use their voices for change.
Fly envisions a country where all kids grow up valued and supported. And the pipeline to prison is replaced with meaningful opportunities for kids to live healthy, free, and productive lives that make stronger, safer, and more vibrant communities for all of us.
Our vision, values, and passion for Fly's work all point us toward justice in this moment.
To make justice possible, we must work against the injustices youth experience.
We recognize our responsibility and obligation to do our part in advocating for justice for every young person whose life Fly touches.
Together with our youth, communities, partners, and political leaders, we will rebuild our systems to be more effective, equitable, and just.
And it's going to take a village.
Join me in supporting Fresh Lifelines for Youth and their mission to prevent juvenile crime and incarceration through legal education, leadership training, and one-on-one mentoring.
Today is the day we're asking you to join us in reimagining justice together.
That's great. It's incredible to see so many in our community backing Fly's mission. You have several ways to get involved and make a difference today. Start by texting the number on your screen or visiting flyprogram.org/donate to make a contribution. Thanks so much for being here. Now I'd like to kick it back over to Fly's CEO and President and my good friend, Ali Knight, to close out the program.
Thank you, Mira, my friend and fellow crusader for justice. And thank you to our amazing board. Wow, what an amazing group. It's a true honor and privilege to work alongside you all. Thank you to our sponsors and our donors. We simply couldn't do this without you. A special thank you to my dear friend Sylvia A. Harvey for your partnership in this fight for justice. I also want to thank our staff and volunteers who make the Fly magic happen. And last but absolutely never least, thank you to our youth speakers, the true authors of their own narratives, their journeys. And finally, last of all, thank you, our community supporters, for joining us. Happy holidays, stay safe and healthy, and stay Fly.